Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. It's the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, and the 2019 season is coming to a close. We've got 2 meetings left, just this one here at Interlagos, and then, of course, the final round at Daytona. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath for this one, and Adam, that grid is set up to be very exciting. Although Wojciech Svidovic, he's on pole, he looks to have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, we're welcome to the Slipstream Fest, everybody. 3 races of high-speed action around the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. This grid could be really important in deciding the title. Svidovic and Ross McFarlane starting in 8th today, just 4 points between them going into this. So I wonder how important this first race could be in determining who could be lifting the title or lifting the trophy at the end of the season and the final season in the Kia as well. So looking forward to what's going on as we've got the grid rolling through the screen now.
Yes, Svidovic on pole then. And then Harrod, Wood, Rhodes and Baker. That's the top 5. We look down into the AM category. Dan Brown is in 7th. He's the highest AM. Paul Smith in 10th with a good starting position for him. Total of 28 drivers taking part in this meeting here at Interlagos. We've had some big accidents here in the past. We've had some great racing. We're about to see that again. 30 seconds separates us from the start of this race here in Sao Paulo. Home in the Brazilian Grand Prix, of course. And home to 3 BSRTC rounds tonight. Here we go. The lights are off, the race is on. Terrific start by Svidovic. Harrod struggled to get away, but so did Chris Wood in 3rd place. Great qualifying for Wood up there for Team Mad, one of their highest qualifying positions in a race 1 in their history. Wojciech Svidovic away then. 4-time champion clear. Harrod in 2nd, Wood 3rd, then Baker, and then Christian Rose in 5th. And Newman and McFarlane battling it out through Curve de Sol.
Yeah, it looks like all 28 cars have made it through the field through the first 2 corners without incident. There's a CQR car there getting very close up the inside, going into Desida de Lago. Pete Harrod running a bit wide on the exit, now through the long left-hander, and that's Ross McFarlane going into battle with Ash Sutton, who's already made up 3 positions from the start. Ross McFarlane up 1. Biggest loser in the start is Paul Smith, who's lost 3.
Yeah, not a great start for Smith. Simmons and McIntyre have got ahead of him. Always going to be difficult to keep them behind. Brown down to 10th now. He's lost 3 places as well, so the AM driver's not getting away well. Who has got away well? Jamie Rushworth 2 places up, Ash Sutton 3 places up. Same for George Simmons, 4 places gained for Jack Sedgwick in 5 now, up in 20th, and Stelin Czepelewski in 22nd place, up 4 places from where he started. Svidovic using all the road and more going into your shout. And on the way up the hill then, to complete lap 1. It is a fairly quick lap for the Kia Optima around here, Adam, because it is a high-speed car.
Yeah, it is. Believe it or not, I think it might actually be quicker than the TCR car. We'll have to check on that. But over the line we go.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So there you go. Over the line to complete the opening lap then. It is Svidovic that leads. Harrod 2nd, Wood 3rd, Baker 4th. 5th is Rose, Sutton in 6th, McFarlane, Newman, Rushworth and Simmons completing the top 10. Dan Brown remains the top AM with Paul Smith right on his tail. He's in 12th place at the end of the opening lap.
I believe it said on iRacing's video that the TCR car does 165 miles an hour. We have clocked the Kia Optima, I believe, over 170 miles an hour at Le Mans on the in qualifying. So this is a replay. What's it going to be then?
A bit of handbags.
Going through. Pete Harrod going up into Ferradura.
Jack Sedgwick getting involved in a bit of mess with Michael Blake. That was what we were seeing on the replay here.
I can't see Jack Sedgwick or Michael Blake.
All right.
I'll have to look into that then, because I can't see what you're looking at.
Are we looking at David Baker now coming up to Vico de Pato?
Yeah, I think it's fine now. Might have been my problem, that one. Yeah.
Ash Sutton and Christian Rose and Chris Wood all going in, all duking it out through the left-hander here.
I didn't notice on the first lap because everything was what you were saying. It was matching up with the pictures. But yeah, Wood going through then.
Watch out for Ross
Look
McFarlane.
at this. This is a sort of one, though, isn't it, Adam, where these high-speed shenanigans can occur through the long left-hander that makes up essentially the main straight here at Interlagos. Oh, up against the wall is McFarlane.
Oh. Wood misses his braking point, and through goes the V-Racer car, and into 5th place he goes. So good move there. And now Wood's going to be under pressure because Christian Rose is going to go through, and maybe Jamie Rushworth, if he can get a decent run out of Cover de Sol here.
Yeah, we're nicely done that. Good move. Jamie Rushworth. See his viewpoint of the two in front battling Christian Rose. Oh, he hits Christian Rose. He hits them both. Both of them go. And that was a misjudgment by Rushworth. Certainly was. And now they're 3 wide going through the exit of Interlagos. Yeah, that was a mistake by the former champion. Adam, it's not one you see very often, but he managed to take out not one but 2 of them.
Yeah, it felt like dominoes there going into the left-hander at the end of the Retro Aposta. Paul Smith here is battling away with Steve Baxter for 12th place overall. He's currently sitting 2nd in the Pro-Am category. Dan Brown is just a bit up the road. In fact, Paul Smith can see him if we go on board with him. He's not that orange car in front of us. He is the next orange car. So he's keeping him at reasonably arm's length as they go down the hill. And it looks like Dan Brown is just about to get by Chris Wood for a spot in the top 10 as they go into Junkel. Yes, he is. There he goes. Brown off into 10th and remains in the Pro-Am lead.
Smith had to have a massive lift through Magulo, showing that the understeer is quite prevalent here as the sun beats down on this Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Now here is Chris Wood trying to recover some of these positions. I mean, he qualified in 3rd place, Adam, and it's not gone well for him at all so far.
That's remarkable, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't realise he'd lost that many places. But yeah, he's down in a P11 after all of that, and he'll be hoping to
get... He did get hit off the track, to be fair, didn't he? But still.
Oh, yeah. Battle for 3rd place. Or should I say that we might have just had the end of the battle for 3rd place. It's Ash Sutton versus Dave Baker. Ash Sutton, who I get the championship standings up for you now. That's not what I would have hoped. He's in 6th place going into this race meeting, 44 points behind Wojciech Savinovich, so not totally out of the question of him going to Daytona with a shot at the title, but right now he sits in the bronze medal position on the podium, and he's 1.4 seconds away from his teammate Pete Harrod, who's in 2nd. One man who's on the move is Stelin Chepelevsky as well. He's in 18th. Here he is. He's battling away with Mark Woodhouse here going into Bico de Pato.
Woodhouse up the inside. Chepelevsky with the inside for Magulo. It's a good battle, this. Between Chepelevsky and Woodhouse. Oh, on the outside goes Woodhouse. Oh, look at that. Tell you what, that's taking the fight to the Rallycross World Championship driver, Adam. It's terrific stuff from Team Mad today.
Bit of elbows out race to there. Yeah, Team Mad are looking pretty good at the moment. They're all over the place in terms of in the top 20 in a good way. Over the line they go. Photo finish between them if that was the final lap, but it looks like Chepelevsky is going to get it done. No, maybe not. As around the outside goes Woodhouse, back up the inside into the centre S.
Very, very impressive.
They've been side by side now for the best part of half a lap.
I used to race Mark Woodhouse in the Club Series, I'll tell you what. Didn't think that one day he would be giving Stelin Chepelevsky all he can handle.
No.
And Paul Smith was defending hard from Adam Hadfield. There's a bit of history between them in this season, isn't there, Adam? They've come together a couple of times.
Yeah, I spoke to Paul last week. After what happened at Laguna Seca. And here he is up the inside of Hadfield. Automek Knockhill doing well here in the early stages of this first 20-minute race, first of 3 20-minute races. We'll get the reverse grid wheel out after this one for the first time tonight to set the grid. Is Paul going to go back up the inside into Bico de Pato? He's going to try anyway. This is a trait that we're going to see throughout the whole evening, really, here at Interlagos. And through Magulio, he's just about able to hold on. I don't see Paul going up the inside into Junkel from that far back. And indeed he settles.
Hadfield got a wheel on the AstroTurf though, which unsettled the car on the way in. Seemed to get a good exit though.
One thing
let's see what the slipstream does for Smith, Adam. I wonder.
Yeah, let's have a look. If I go on board with him, we've got the intervals up as well, so you can see how the gap's going to come down. It's just about to go under 0.3 of a second. It's looking pretty good. A bit closer.
Close enough to... Oh, he's going for it, is he?
Oof.
Not quite. Maybe just trying to unsettle Adam Hadfield. It's a bit going on in front of them, actually, between Baxter and Chris Wood.
So look at that, but yeah, it's just a 10th of a second between them. Baxter, who has done pretty well in the BSRTC over the years. You can see Paul Smith is still wheel to wheel with somebody there. I think that was Will Daniels in the V-Racer car.
Off.
Off goes Hadfield.
Hadfield off. And Smith is into battle with McIntyre. Oh, somebody sliding through Fedadora. It's not exactly what you want, but that's a tough corner on these front-wheel drive cars, isn't it, Adam? It really does punish the tyres.
It does, yeah, especially in the hot conditions that you would expect that we're going to get here today. Just one slide will all it taken and the tyres could be cooked for the entire race. Paul Smith back at the inside there into Vigo Tapato. He's back ahead. Chris Wood and Steve Baxter again. Sorry.
I was going to say Simmons off apparently, but I think it was just on the approach to Yunxiao. Now, Baxter's got a good run on Chris Wood here. Has he got the speed in that V-Racer car? I think he has. Great straight line speed shown. He looks like he's ahead. Can he clear him before the centre S's? It doesn't look like it.
I just noticed.
Oh, sorry.
I just noticed that from the on-board, but on the front straight there is that tyre barrier that sticks out on the right-hand side when they come across the line. I'm amazed that no one's hit that yet.
Yeah, well, someone will at some point, I think. Oh.
Tell you what, if we were commentating on this race a couple of years ago, if someone hit that, they would have been sent flying into the air or into orbit or something.
Well, you did you see the World GT Championship? Well, you did see the World GT Championship. You were commentating on it. The cars are absolutely soaring through the air in that.
Oh, yeah.
That's Zolder, was it?
Oh, yeah, Zolder. That was the week I missed. Alex Simpson, I think, was covering that one.
Here comes Rob Graham. Yeah, because of course, when Alex is back commentating, of course there's a massive accident where everyone at the back doesn't slow down and just plows into it. So it's his favourite thing. Oh dear.
I seem to have a habit of missing the ones with all the big wrecks. You filled in for the one at Watkins Glen where somebody ghosted through the entire field.
That was, yeah. I mean, that was crazy. That was somebody's internet connection going berserk, wasn't it? I think. Oh, contact! That was Simmons and McFarlane getting too close for comfort, I think, there.
McFarlane could really do getting by Baker here, just because Wojciech Savidovic is continuing to lead.
Yeah, and he's building the gap slowly, Savidovic. 1.2 seconds it now is.
Oh, Baker sliding about under braking. Doesn't make the first Apex, well, the second, but he's going to be at a disadvantage.
That's going to really give McFarlane an opportunity, isn't he? But is he too close, Adam, to really mount the challenge? Because, you know, he's almost tucked right under the rear wing of that Kia Optima. Not really making much headway up the Retta Aposta.
No, you couldn't really send it into there either. Now up to the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Up we go through the long right-hander. Can he send it up the inside into here? Maybe someone further down the field may have thought about that. I would have thought about it, and I probably would have come off with a crash. Now up to Vico Tapato. Again, has a little look to the inside, maybe a feint there, and he's got a decent exit. He's going to be on the outside though for Mergulio.
Yeah, and that's not easy out there. It's not a great deal of grip.
Oh! Sending it
Oh, wheel to wheel.
Now we're going to see who's got the least wing on the rear, really. CQR versus V-Racer. This is the battle for 4th place as they fly by our camera there on the inside and over the timing line to start the 9th lap. Who's that? Simmons! What a move!
Oh,
he's missed the corner.
No, it's not. It was a good. He gave it the old college try, didn't he? But it's not. Yeah, it's not worked out.
It was ambitious, but it was rubbish. Down the Retro Aposta, they go again. I think McFarlane should have it done this time. You'd think. Baker's going to still slug it out around the outside, though.
He actually said on the live timing, George Simmons crashed. That's how slowly he ended up going when he went off the track. Now here's Baker and McFarlane. McFarlane sliding the car on the outside of Ferradura, just trying to eke out any advantage he can. Needs to be very late on the brakes here. Oh. Into, I think it's Larangina, isn't it, this left-hander?
I nearly went off there.
Having a look. Oh. But holding the inside into Pico de Pato is Baker. Now this has to be nicely set up for McFarlane, I think. Nice run through Magullo. Good run through the last corner and then try to get him into the centre S's. It has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was where
he's got Christian Rose just as close to him as he is to Baker, actually.
Yeah, just 2/10 of a second away. He's just behind us. Let's have a look. There he is. And now back on board we go. He was able to catch Baker unawares a Junker on the previous lap. He wasn't able to do that this time, but look at the speed he's getting from the slipstream. He's going to move to the outside.
Rose looking at the middle. McFarlane tried to go all the way around the outside, decided that, he noticed that Baker had gone wide a couple of laps ago. Maybe this is his opportunity, get a really good run through Curva de Sol and take him on the Retro Aposta into the Cida de Lago.
Baker covers the inside. It was McFarlane covering the inside a lap ago.
Ooh.
He tries. And he'll have the inside line now for the right-hander, which might just work in his favour, but he can't stay alongside, can he? Oh, it's nearly Trulli and Subtle territory there.
Oh, wow. That was the one where he brought his diagrams into the press conference, didn't he, afterwards? As Jarno Trulli is on the inside, lunges the Season 7 champion. He has a go. McFarlane holds fast. Yeah, and he does indeed. And he stays ahead. Look at this train of cars. And that's, that is, I'm not sure that on the inside was Newman.
Yeah, Newman in the CQR Academy car. He's got Simmons for company.
Well, Simmons is not wanting to yield here. To yield this 8th place. He's worked hard for from 13th on the grid.
Putting on board here with our Pro-Am leader Dan Brown, who's got the best seat in the house for this.
He's 3 positions ahead of the closest Dan, which is Adam Hadfield, 4 ahead of Paul Smith, and then 7 ahead of Will Daniels. Can he gain any more places then? Into the centre S's they go. Simmons and Rushworth now getting involved. A lot of curb taken by Simmons. Newman was a bit balked there, and it sort of got in the way of Brown, didn't it, Adam? He absolutely destroyed his momentum through turn 2.
Really did. And now he's a massive disadvantage. You can see that from his own teammate. Steve Baxter could fancy his chances. Baker back up and McFarlane.
Oh.
With just over 2.5 minutes to go. Sorry, 3.5 minutes to go. No, 2.5 minutes to go. I was right. They are very close indeed as through Ferradura. And again, McFarlane not able to get any breathing space between himself and the Season 7 champion.
You can hear a lot of sliding going on as well. The tyres are getting tortured through the fast corners of Interlagos. 1.6 seconds is the lead for Savidovic. Harrod in second, Sutton in third. 3 seconds separates the top 3. Savidovic off. but I don't think it's serious. I think it's just Young Shao again on the outside there.
How wide they go in qualifying? They go from wider to set themselves up before the lap. I think if they did that on the quali lap, they'd pick up an off track, but they want to get the best possible run onto the front straight, which is something that David Baker got, but can he get by as they come over the line?
Deja vu for these two then. As they go over the start-finish line to start what is probably the penultimate lap. Baker trying the big, long way around the outside. The road less travelled. Oh, he's right with him now, though. This is quarter panel territory here. He's moving around a bit. Is McFarlane. Needs to be careful. He doesn't squeeze Baker off the track on the right-hand side. He's fair enough. Is the Scotsman. Nicely driven. This train of 5 cars had him providing some great entertainment so far in this race one. The penultimate BSRTC meeting of the season.
If Baker sent one there, that would have been interesting. Simmons trying to get by Rushworth. It's a massive CQR sandwich. I know the McDonald's have brought out the double quarter pounder, but we've got a triple CQR one here. Oh well. It's annoying.
It was almost the double quarter panel with cheese, wasn't it? As we had that instead. Well, the Big Mac is at the front of the queue as well, Ross McFarlane.
We're doing
there
well.
You go.
Here. Yeah.
We've got Baker as well. I mean, that's got to come into it somehow. They need buns for this.
No, he's not here, unfortunately.
Oh, the checkered flag is out. They just, well, there were seconds in that. There must have been just a couple of seconds in that. Wojciech Svidovic wins race 1 here at Interlagos. That was by surprise. I thought there was going to be one more lap, Adam. I really did, but because they were so close crossing the line the previous time.
Not too sure what happened there, because I'm sure that the guys that are in 5th and 6th crossed the line with over 90 seconds to go. So yeah, I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Well, I thought they did too. So unless it's a lap limit,
or whatever.
They've reached the lap. They've done 12 laps. I think there is a limit of laps in this session as well, is there? Let me just have a quick look. No.
No.
We never reach. The thing is, we never reach a lap limit, so I never have to look at it.
Well, Wojciech Svidovic takes potentially what could be a crucial victory here. The same goes to Dan Brown. There he is. He's the Pro-Am winner. He finishes in 9th. We get the Pro-Am field up. There you go. Hadfield 2nd, Smith 3rd, Daniels 4th, and Sakovic in 5th. But of course, this is just the first of a 3-part trilogy here at Interlagos, with race 2 and 3 to come.
Yeah, and it's going to be very exciting to see what the reverse grid holds for us, because there's some very quick guys further down. Sven Glatzel I'm looking at in 18th place. He's prime candidate for the reverse grid, to challenge for the reverse grid victory.
Yeah, so as the cars come around, junk out and make their way back to the pits, let's get the finishing results up on our screen. And there we go. Wojciech Svidovic takes the victory. Car 1 started on P1, finishes in P1. Did he have the fastest laps? Did he do the clean sweep? I'm just having a quick check. No, he didn't. He didn't have the fastest lap. Pete Harrod finishes in 2nd, Ash Sutton in 3rd. He never ceases to amaze with his overtaking abilities. He started all the way down towards the rear of the top 10 and was able to get up to 3rd pretty early on, in fact. Ross McFarlane in 4th, a massive 4th place for him if he wants to negate the growing advantage between him and Svidovic. Then after him it's David Baker in 5th, Christian Rose in 6th, 7th Jamie Rushworth, and then the ERT car of George Simmons in 8th. And then Dan Brown and Adam Hadfield, the top 2 AM drivers, completing the top 10. Steve Baxter in 11th, then the Team Mad duo of Chris Wood and Paul Smith. And Sedin Chefalevsky, the Bulgarian, in 14th. Jack McIntyre 15th, 16th for Will Pete Newman as someone's crashed in the pits. from our scenic camera there. Will Daniels finishing in 17th, and then Sven Glatzel in 18th. You are right. I wonder if we get one of the small reverse grid numbers, he may be on the pole. 19th place for Magic Sakovic, 20th for Mark Woodhouse, 21st for John Roberts, 22nd for Jack Sedgwick, then Adam Hedgecock in 23rd, Rob Graham 24th, his teammate Max Wright in 25th, Kip Stevens in 26th place, and then Michael Blake in 27th, and then the last finisher in 28th, Sean Gardner. So everybody finished the opening race of the day.
Which is great to see, because how many times have we seen... how many times have we seen that the field be absolutely decimated on the first lap? So
decimated.
We'll see. Yes, indeed. So we'll see now who will be selected on the reverse grid to be sitting on pole for race 2. It could be any manner of people. It could be, say, Sven Glatzel I mentioned before. Mark Woodhouse showed some good pace early on. McIntyre is always dangerous in these.
Right then, let's without further ado, let's spin it. Oh, it is 18.
Well, there we have it then. Sven Glatzel is going to go on to pole position. And, that's a terrific result for V-Racer. They're going to have a 1-2 on the grid. In fact, they're going to have a 1, 2 and 4 with Glatzel, Daniels and McIntyre. So we'll be back after the break to see how they get on in the second race of the day. The British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship continues here at Interlagos.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, and this is the grid at Interlagos for race 2 of the evening in the BSRTC. Sven Glatzel and Paul Will Daniels in second for V-Racer. Watch them try to hold on to this position. They've got a good position as well, first, second and fourth. Pete Newman is the interloper for CQR in third. Here we go. Here we go then, race 2 underway. Really good start by Glatzel. Really nice getaway from him. Daniel's now in the middle of a 3-wide situation for second place contact with Pete Newman. And the CQR man is forced out wide. It's going to make him prey to the field behind, and we know what's happened in the past going through Curva de Sol and onto the Retroposter.
Oh yeah, because it all filters down into the middle, but it looks like somebody's trying to get by Paul Smith there. That was Steve Baxter. And nearly
Smith defending very aggressively.
Yeah, he nearly caused the big one there. Smith covering the inside line just about, and now his teammates getting in the mix.
Don't think anyone's crashed so far, so that's good. Don't hold your breath though.
Whoa!
Oh, some drivers going in very hot to... Oh, look at this. So there's like a 6-pack of cars here. That's Wood and Baxter and Hadfield and Rushworth and Simmons and Sutton. They're all battling away. Sutton trying to cover off Simmons. That's ineffective. Simmons has disappeared again, showing his internet connection hasn't really improved from last week. 3 wide now almost, but Sutton almost overlaps Rushworth coming through Magulo, and Rushworth lets him through. So team orders here at CQR, and they're managing to stay ahead of Simmons.
Just thinking where Savidovic is in this race. He's gained 1 spot to 17th. Ross McFarlane still in P15. He hasn't been able to gain any positions as here they all come across the lines to complete the opening lap. Then it's Glatzel that leads, McIntyre second, Daniels third, then Newman, Chapelewski, Smith, Baxter, 3 wide. That's Simmons. Nearly trying to force the way up the middle. Something that we saw end in total disaster when somebody tried that going into the Villeneuve chicane at Imola in the World GT.
The problem the problem CQR have got here is Rushworth's diving out of the way of Sutton, which I understand. But it's also meaning that he's trying to give up the place to Sutton without losing out to Simmons. And now Sutton's blocking the inside so that Rushworth can probably get past Simmons. It's just kind of holding everything up in the middle of the field there. It's not allowing really either of them to move forward. Glatzel doing a great job at the front. And he does show great pace, Sven Glatzel. My frustration with him has always been the racecraft aspect. But when he's out in front with no one to get in his way, he's a tremendously fast driver, one of the best.
It really is. We saw him at Fanatec a couple seasons ago. I think that team is now known as V-Racer. Done a pretty good job there.
Yeah, it was Fanatec in Northern Lights Racing, I believe. Then he was V-Racer, yeah.
There was a Glatzel playing in the EFL the other day. Just can't remember what team he was playing for.
Oh, there you go.
Through the left-hand turn onto the front straight. To complete the lap, Simmons going wheel-to-wheel now with a fellow pro driver in Chris Wood as they come over the line.
Newman sets the fastest lap then, quickly usurped by Baxter, 1:38.534 then. Good lap.
Oh,
That's another V-Racer car on form. Look at this. Car 222 is Daniel Brown. And then Ross McFarlane is car 3 and David Baker is car 8. You can see that Savidovic is in there. Oh, Savidovic is on the grass trying to get through. 3 wide for the 4-time champ. Massive late dive. He's going to make contact, as you know. But McFarlane almost taking out his teammate there.
God, close proximity racing this. Then mind CQR, CPR may be needed here. Going into the right-hander.
Well, there's a few drivers trying to resuscitate their title bids, but some doing better than others. Oh, the lunge, bang! More contact again. Tell you what, Baker hasn't been too hot on the brakes, has he, in this meeting so far?
As we go back down to earth, it's just as close from the helicopter as it is on the ground, and Savinovic trying to get by Dan Brown, the Pro-Am leader.
Oh, he's muscling his way through. Well, Magulo isn't always the place to try that sort of move, but look at this. This is the back of the field, Adam. This is like the back of this little train here is last position. You got people like McFarlane, Savinovic, and Baker and Harrod in it.
This is what's happening at the front. This is the fight for third. We've got to briefly turn our attention away from it. Yeah, with only 28 cars in the field.
Oh! Well, that is Newman going in a bit too late on the brakes again, and CQR struggling. It seems to slow these cars down today.
Now here they go onto the Reta Aposta. Watch out for Selin Chepelevsky, who's got a very decent run on the exit. He's going to almost surely go up the inside of the V-Racer car. He brakes very late. They may even both... Oh, no. Hello.
Oh. Hello. That's a little nudge there. That was a bit unfortunate for Daniels there. He didn't really do anything wrong. Clipped by Chepelevsky, who'd gone in fairly deep.
Oh.
This is Sutton trying to muscle through on Hadfield. Get the popcorn ready. Oh, he's not clear. Oh, dear me.
I thought he was.
Yeah, I mean, you assumed he was, yeah, because...
Someone's right by the curb.
Oh, he must have been off completely, Hadfield, on the left-hand side. He's gone back on. There's two feisty drivers in there, I tell you that.
Oh, hello.
Sutton's probably got a bit of a chip on his shoulder after the Jason Plato thing last week or the week before.
Oh, God, yeah, at
Snetterton.
He forced him out wide at Fruxton last week. That Vauxhall, annoyingly, is starting to get quite good.
Vauxhall have always been good. That's just how the championship goes. Eventually, Vauxhall get back to the front. But here we go. I remember when they were absolutely dominating proceedings with Giovanardi and co. But here's, like I said, that's before Ash Sutton's time. That'll be. Well, Paul Smith will have been watching the touring cars back then.
Oh.
I know I was. Around the outside of Hadfield. This is tremendous stuff.
Smith and Hadfield. We've got our very own Plato and Sutter going on here between those two.
Adam's commentating with his eyes closed, I think. Yeah, I must admit, every time though, mate, every time somebody goes too wide through that section, brings back memories of that massive pilot we had in 2015 or 2016.
Oh, God, that was on TV as well for everybody to see there. We thought Sebastian Jove's title fight was over after that one, but he somehow managed to still win it.
Yeah, he probably should have been as well, but he fought back well. Oh, slide in is Daniels wide, and that gives up the position to Chepelevsky and to Baxter. So up into fourth is Cheppy, one position gained. Baxter's gained 3 positions. He started in 8th place. Daniels started on the front row. He's just dropping down a little bit. It's no disgrace in this company, however. Pete Newman's won a few races in the series as well. Up in P3. It's good to see Newman at the front, really, Adam. He's struggled to maintain a position up near there in 2019 so far.
Yeah, veteran of this series. In fact, he managed to get a 1-2-3 with his own team in this Kia a couple of years ago.
The Kia is going. The Audi is officially coming now. We knew it was coming, but the video's been released. The hype has begun. And Sutton and Daniels dicing with death here through one of the fastest parts of the circuit, has to be said.
Careful, guys, really.
Sutton slides the car into turn 1, gets a bit of a nudge from Daniels. Daniels rides the curb and the car bobbles as the suspension takes a pounding through the centre S's, but here he is. He's right tucked in the slipstream of car 7. And what's he going to do? It's again, outbraking Ash Sutton is a very difficult thing to do. Oh, that's a late one. That is a very late one. Oh, I don't think Daniels is going to be happy about that. I wouldn't be if someone moved across that late on me.
Well, I think Daniels has bashed the hornet's nest that is Ash Sutton, and he is fighting back somewhat as they carried on through the laps. Oh, he's been hit here.
Oh, he wanted to get some of that sweet, sweet honey, but he's not going to get any now. As it looks like Simmons. Oh, Simmons is actually he's going to lose out now as well. Adam Hadfield, he doesn't give up places easily himself. It's really good. It's really good for me as well. Like when I watch these races, I race against most of these drivers, and it's great to see them improve and be able to fight at the front. I mean, there's guys in this race, Adam, in this series now that we were racing against in the club series. We used to beat them, and now if we raced them, we'd be absolutely smashed by them.
Oh, I think it's become a real fine art driving the Kia Optima over the years now, and these guys are some of the best in the business at it. I think maybe
there are no slow drivers in this series. There are absolutely none.
No, I'll tell you what. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens when we press the reset button and get everybody in the Audi TCR car.
We could see some names at the front of the grid which we'd never seen up there before, and that excites me massively because that's one thing with this series. It's very, very close. The Audi could just make things absolutely brilliant as people struggle to get to, because as well we're going to see more mistakes because the car is newer. It's not as instinctive for people, as there is a bit of contact there between Simmons and I'm not sure who we were on board with actually there. Oh, that's Rushworth coming through up into 8th place, so recovering from the earlier struggles for him.
Paul, watch out, you're on the outside, mate. Oh, he's going to go around the outside of everybody. That'll be a hell of a move if he's able to pull that off. We were on board with Hadfield going into that right-hander.
He's in danger of getting freight train now with Smith, so he needs to stick as close as he possibly can to the inside, but through Larangina then.
He has found a pocket of space, he says.
I can hear crashing.
When they're all flying
I don't know what that is about.
Well, the next V-Racer car to get pressurised by Ash Sutton is Steve Baxter.
Sorry, it wasn't Larangina. I got the wrong corner. That one's called Pinarino. Literally the hairpin.
You're going to see them appear any second. There they are. Remember Dave Baker having a massive one there in 2016 or 17, one of the two.
It's funny, I've never noticed that. Oh! Contact! Baxter! Oh, I give you as good as he gets, I'll tell you that. It's going to be interesting now, though, isn't it?
Oh, there he is.
Oh. Now, oh, taste of the own here. Round the outside, where's he gone? Oh dear. Sutton off. Taking the very scenic route. He's going to, I'll tell you what, in about 2 corners time, I think that yellow CQR car is going to be well and truly up the inside of Baxter into one of these hairpins.
He's backing it in MotoGP style there through the right-hander.
I tell you, I will miss that about the Kia Optima. I love braking in this car because it just moves around so satisfyingly, and you can really use that to help you navigate the corners.
Oh, what was the one thing you hadn't noticed? You had started a point just before we got to turn 1.
Well, oh no, I'd never noticed that tyre barrier until you told me, and now I can't stop noticing it.
Oh, they're stuck.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's not over. It's not going to be over, is it?
Right, let's see.
Because Baxter's 2 tenths behind with a nice slipstream.
Can he use it to his advantage? That CQR car is quick, but as you can see from the interval, it's coming down. It's under 2 temps. It's going to be under 1 temp surely by the time we get on the brakes. I'd send it.
Oh, he can't though. He's too close to the wall. Sutton's missed the corner.
Oh.
Oy.
He's going to get a good run through here again.
Daniels is very close to this as well.
There he is.
Oh, he's super cool. Look at them all behind. It's like lap 1 still in that group.
Oh, they closed up so much under braking there. Seat backs are just about missing. There are the CQR cars. This is the opportunity now for Ash Sutton to stretch his legs maybe. This is the fight for 5th after all. You think it was the fight for the win or the fight for the championship.
Baxter's kept his tyres in much better nick than Sutton, as you can tell just by the way the car's behaving. Sutton's really having to fight this in order to... Oh, nudgy!
And
Rushworth from nowhere! A wild Jamie Rushworth's appeared.
And all of a sudden
he was nowhere near this a minute ago.
And all of a sudden he's going to get passed by Will Daniels, or is he? He's going to try and hold it out around the outside. That all started from Sutton and Baxter colliding, and then Rushworth saying thank you very much. He'll take at least one of those places, but now Sutton has got half a second in hand. He just needs to have a good run through Juncal, which is all right. And then he's going to have a reasonable advantage going on to the front straight. 4/10 of a second is a lot better than 2/10 on the previous lap.
Indeed it is. We'll stick with this battle on screen, but just to let you know, Sven Glatzel leads by 3/4 of a second over Jack McIntyre. Pete Newman's 2 seconds behind them, and then it's Stelian Chepelevsky right with him. Then there's 3 seconds to this battle, which rages on round the outside for Will Daniels. Am driver? Maybe not next season. I tell you, he's done a fantastic job in 2019 as Will Daniels. Really strong performances throughout.
Championship update.
That's round the outside of a BSRTC champion.
Oh yeah, through into the centre S as well. He able to get it done up the inside into the second part, and away he goes. Championship update for you. Ross McFarlane is in 13th. Paul Smith is battling away Wojciech Savinovic here. This is how these two are getting on, and that is Wojciech through into 15th.
Yeah, it's been a steady race from Savinovic, not really spectacular when he started in 18th, so I know he's trying to pick the points up, but I don't know, maybe you want more impact from that sort of, because Sutton started 16th and he's now up to 5th. Savinovic started on the row behind him and he's still 15th. Hey, we at this point though, should we ever criticise Wojciech Savinovic, because it all seems to come together at the end, doesn't it?
I think he probably will be classed as the king of the Kia when it's retired in a couple of weeks' time. I'm
looking forward to seeing how he gets on in the Audi. I really am.
Yeah, that is something that we should mention as well, because the finale of the BSRTC isn't until 3 weeks. No, we're missing next week because the Expo, and then another week because it's week 13, I think. So it'll be
so 3 weeks away.
After this one,
they've got time to practice, eh?
Definitely. And with it being week 13, I'll probably be when the Audi is out. So resist from having too much fun in that, because you've got a championship to win in the Kia first.
Yeah, I must admit I'll be driving the Audi. I want to get some, laps in on that, and hopefully there'll be, something for me to drive it in at some point. Hadfield, great lunge on the brakes. Oh, what's that? That's Rushworth going through our camera. Have we got the budget for another GoPro? I don't know. Maybe as
it's all going on next
side
season.
by side. yeah.
Up here we go.
Hadfield wide, but he likes that line, doesn't he? He can really swoop into the next hairpin. Although he's done a good job there. Hadfield, he gets one.
Should be worth
Will
saying.
he get the other?
Should be worth saying this is the fight for the Pro-Am lead. No wonder they're going at it. Oh!
Oh!
That's Rushworth. Oh, hello.
Hadfield's trying to pry the door open like a crowbar, isn't he?
Sends it.
Throws it in. Oh, look at that! Love that.
Oh.
Into and shout. Oh, contact. Off goes Jamie Rushworth. Can he keep it on the island? Just about. Well played. Just carries on and like nothing happened.
God, Kia made a strong stuff as it flew across the grass there. Picked up a bit of damage as well.
That is going to be a question. How durable will the Audi be? Will that racing be available to the drivers? I hope it is. Oh, look at that! Up the middle goes Simmons and misses the braking point. That is not cricket. I must admit, that's not great from Simmons.
Yeah, and poor
this
Daniels.
is going to be a mess. The 3 wide. This is not going to go well.
Somehow it just about does. We're 3 wide still.
Don't hold your breath. We've still got Interlagos to go in the braking area for turn 4.
Hadfield is defending as if his life depends on it.
Yeah, he's the highest placed AM driver. It's going to be great points for him, but George Simmons has shown that he's not really going to take any prisoners today.
Here's the final lap as well.
Oh, is it going to be? Yeah, is the white flag out?
Glatzel.
We don't know.
Glatzel is probably. Yeah, this. I don't think he's going to make it back in 30 seconds.
let's try not to miss the end this time then, as we were both engrossed in the midfield battle, that's for sure. I don't know if he's... Oh, I don't know. I think we might get another one here. Let's watch Sven Glatzel, Adam. Let's see what he does. It's very close in the midfield, but... Well, not the midfield, for the podium. Cheppy and Sutton, but... Sven Glatzel coming across, 56, 57, 58. I think we're going to get another lap. I don't know. It's going to be very close. 1, 2...
Yeah, we're getting another one.
White flag. White flag is in the air.
That's my graphic. Wrong. There we go.
And there's no white flag between Stelian Chepelevsky and Ash Sutton. No surrender whatsoever between the man who drives in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship and Ash Sutton, a British touring car champion. Jack Steers trophy winner.
Wow. And somehow Chepelevsky finds the space to rejoin just ahead of Newman.
And Chepelevsky has won many races, double figures of races in the BSRTC over the years.
Oh.
So he's not a one-trick pony by any means.
One of the most experienced in the field, in fact.
Yeah, well over, I think, 600 races by now for Chepelevsky.
He was racing in it before even I was commentating on this series.
I thought you were going to say before I was born then, for a second. So, that's how long, that's when season 1 was, probably. And, oh! Well, that's not gone well for Newman and Baxter, really. Well, it went well for Baxter. He's up into 5th place.
Svidovic and Paul Smith are all very close. In fact, Will Daniels, this is a huge train of cars.
Daniels with the full send around the outside. He's not leaving much on the table, it has to be said. But Sven Glatzel is going to come through, and he's going to take race 2 of the evening here at Interlagos. Terrific drive. It was pole position, and now the victory for V-Racer. Sven Glatzel from Germany takes the win here in Brazil. McIntyre second, very close for third, but it is Ash Sutton who completes the podium with Stelian Chepelevsky, then Baxter and Newman, and that is super close between Rose and Wood. It was 8 1,000ths of a second, Adam.
Crazy there between those guys, and that could be crucial in terms of a potential reverse grid for the final race of the day that we've got coming up soon. Here is Kip Stevens. He is currently the last car running. Michael Blake has been out for a while. Not too sure what happened to him. And Mark Woodhouse didn't take the start here after a so-so race 1. Let's have a look at the replay and see what happened to Michael Blake. Things already look wrong at this point. It's already crabbing. Yeah, and I think he's had enough of that. Let's see if there's a point where that might have occurred. Maybe this might be it. Let's have a look. Oh, that's what happened.
Oh my.
Here it is again. Not from that camera angle, please. This one. So he's got. He's
understeered into him, hasn't he?
Oh, that's. Oh my God. That was Kip Stevens, wasn't it? Yeah, that is Kip Stevens.
I'm probably going to put that on Michael Blake. He didn't look like he was going to get. It didn't look like he had. He looked like he had too much understeer. Or just didn't give the room. I don't know.
Well, and that's why Kip Stevens finished in P26 in the end. Right, as you can see, we're looking from high up above this Interlagos circuit. I think Felipe Massa's go-kart. Well, I don't think it's Felipe Massa's, but the go-kart track isn't too far away from here. And that's enough of that story. Let's move on to the race results. Race victory then for Sven Glatzel. He does not finish 1 lap ahead of Jack McIntyre, but he does finish ahead of McIntyre. McIntyre's just not that far behind. Ash Sutton finishes in 3rd, 300ths of a second ahead of Stelian Chepelevsky. And then Steve Baxter 5th, Pete Newman in 6th. Adam Hadfield top am, and boy did he work for it. He finished in 7th, then George Simmons in 8th with his teammate Sedgwick 9th, Ross McFarlane 10th, 5 places ahead of Wojciech Svidovic, which pretty much nullifies the advantage that Wojciech had from that race 1 win, I reckon. 11th for Dan Brown, then Jamie Rushworth 12th, then Dave Baker 13th, Will Daniels 14th, then Savinovic and Smith in 15th and 16th. Paul Smith's teammate Chris Wood in 17th, then 18th for Christian Rose, then Pete Harrod, Magic Sakovic, John Roberts, Rob Graham, Max Wright, Sean Gardner, Adam Hedgecock, Kip Stevens over a minute behind, and then Michael Blake 1 lap down, and his teammate Mark Woodhouse didn't take the start.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Adam. And I tell you what, when you look at the times going down from sort of about 6th or 7th place all the way down to 19th, 20th, yeah, pretty amazing how close that grid was. That field was in that race. Who then is going to get the pole for race 3? That is going to be the interesting one. Because I tell you, race 3 here is normally a bit crazy. I will say that only 1 retirement in 2 races. He's very, very, very good, isn't it?
Yeah, rate of attrition, very low. Something that we haven't expected for Interlagos. Only 28 cars in the field, so that will have reduced things by a little bit, but maybe they're preparing themselves for race 3. I wonder if this reverse grid will serve us up nicely. If we get 27, Michael Blake is going to be laughing all the way to the bank, I think, because he will be on the pole, but I think that is his only chance of getting the pole position, I think, so that is one in whatever number of segments there are on that wheel, so... let's spin his GCSE results there. I did get a B in maths, by the way. Let's spin the wheel and find out who's...
So did I.
We're equally as qualified then. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, it's nearly 27.
What is it?
It's full -2.
Full -2. That will go to Adam Hedgecock, I believe. Yeah, because full would have been Michael Blake in 27. So yeah, 25th, Adam Hedgecock gets reversed onto pole position. There is a big, big swathe of AM drivers at the front. So it's very likely we're going to get an AM win. Hope we do.
That'll set us up nicely going into Daytona. And once again, the championship contenders are going to be right in the thick of the action at a track where, as we've seen so far, overtaking is at a premium just because there is so much slipstreaming. So, yeah, looking forward to the 3rd race.
All right, well, we're going to see you after the break for that one as the BSRTC continues here in Interlagos. And who's going to win race 3? Well, it's anybody's guess, but you come back and you'll find out.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, back on the grid. The final round of the evening. The sun is getting lower in the sky. The excitement is getting higher as we're about to start this one. Adam Hedgecock on pole for Boosted Motorsport with Sean Gardner in second, Max Wright in third, Rob Graham in fourth, John Roberts in fifth. We are ready to go.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag flies, we are away. Good start by Hedgecock. Sean Gardner with a terrific start. He's up the inside on his teammate and he's going to lead into the centre S's. Terrific stuff by Gardner, although he's lost it a little bit. Car off in the background, that's Newman. Pete Newman going through the grass. I think he's had a bit of contact. 3 wide going through Curve of Assault. Oh, somebody's off on that left-hand side. That's not conducive to clean racing. Everyone seems to have survived there, or maybe... Yeah, I think it's fine. I was hearing some contact in the background. I think everyone's through.
Oh, look at this view here. Them all flying up towards the bottom of the... Oh, contact! One of the Ultimate Knock Hill cars gets hit. That's Graham.
That was Harrod muscling Graham out of the way.
Oh, and he retaliates.
Oh, and then Graham getting in on the act on Savinovic. Not going to please the Polish man.
No, he's down to 13th place as a result of that.
Smith having a look. Smith going up the inside of Graham into Pico de Pato. He hits him. That's 4 contacts for Graham. He's going to be disqualified soon.
Not all of them of his own doing. Sean Gardner, you can just see him at the top of the picture.
The first one wasn't his fault.
The second one definitely.
And maybe the last one wasn't either.
On to the front straight we go then. It is a Boosted Delight here at the moment because it is a 1-2 for them here, and they've got their colleague John Roberts in 5th. So
Boosted Delight, and then it's right.
Over the line then. Oh!
And then it's a magic sandwich.
Oh!
Oh! Bosh! Have that, he says.
Their front left damage there on the team ad car at the end of the opening lap. It's Gardner that leads, then it's Hedgecock, Wright, Sakovic, Roberts.
Oh, Roberts! Roberts is playing rear gunner big time for his teammates. He needs to cover the inside though, otherwise Harrod's just going to go. Yep.
God, there's a guy in the air. It's Ross McFarlane.
Oh, McFarlane.
Championship contender is almost certainly out, and I don't know if he can get that back to the pits. But I think the big question is, what happened?
Well, it's a rejoin from that side again, as we've seen in the past. There's all sorts going on, but it's always when a car goes wide through turn 3, always seems to cause chaos coming back on. And was that Wojciech Savinovic as well, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Was it Simmons? I think it was Simmons. Simmons has been in a few accidents tonight, I tell you, it's not really like him.
Let's watch it one more time.
Can we have a look from the back?
Of Simmons? Or
can we have it just from the chopper or something, from the rear, or the chase?
There we go.
Ah, right, here we go.
Third umpire here.
Well, DRS probably tells you that that's a move from the right-hand side. And actually, you know what, McFarlane, he drifted from right to left into Simmons.
Oh, well,
drifted well off the white line there.
Well, all that was happening. Sean Gardner's down to 3rd. Hedgecock leads Sakovic in 2nd. Sean Gardner's still in 3rd, though. Then it's Harrod in 4th. Dave Baker 5th. John Roberts in 6th, as we had to take our eyes off the lead battle to have a look at that mess involving one of the championship leaders. Sven Glatzel is in the wall. Oh! It goes from bad to worse for V-Racer. That's 3 V-Racer cars in trouble.
That's race 2 winner, Sven Glatzel in the wall. Let's not forget. It's Maciej Sakovic going for the lead. He may achieve it. Yeah, he's clear. So Sakovic up into 1st place. Cedric's on the grass. He's in Suttil Trulli territory.
Harrod drifts out wide and is now open to attack from Sean Gardner here at the inside. Oh!
Well, yeah.
They do hit it there. They managed to get away with it. It's definitely
Gardner who made that terrific start.
Yeah. One man who is on the move is this guy, Wojciech Savinovic. He's up to 9th. He's gained 2 places since the start. Roberts looks like he's going to get by Gardner now, and is up into 5th.
Well, I think since Davidovich got bashed out of the way earlier on, I think he's had enough. So I think he's just trying to go on the march. Gardner's gone. He's well off.
Kimi Räikkönen territory there.
Yeah, just seem to struggle around the traffic, Sean Gardner. If there is something that I think he can improve on for next season, it's definitely that race, that close racing, because he does seem to give almost too much space sometimes. But again, that's something that can work on.
Fight for the final spot on the podium is
no!
God, the fight for second, I should say.
Well, Harrod's left off Hedgecock here, but you see, if you nudge a guy through the corner and you nearly crash him off, you don't just overtake him at the next corner, do you? I don't think you do, but there you go. That's not kill or be killed, I guess. Sutton's crashed, apparently.
Oh yeah, he's out. Paul Smith's down there as well.
Oh, they haven't crashed into each other, have they?
No, I don't think so. Oh dear.
Oh,
no,
yeah, they have, yeah.
Oh no. Let's have
What's
a look.
happened?
Let's have a look at what happened then. This is going into the first corner. Smith's on the inside. He hits the ultimate not kill car. Oh, and
so it wasn't them crashing directly with each other. It was as a result. It was as a result of the earlier incident between Smith and I think it's Rob Graham, isn't it? 27. Is that right?
Seeing if everything was okay.
Oh no, Max Wright's 27. Sorry, Graham's 22, isn't he? Oh, and then Sutton was an innocent victim in that one. Smith's car is a mess. Rushworth versus Roberts, Adam. Then this could be interesting.
Yeah, there's the 3 R's, but here's the 2 R's. Oh!
Oh no! Reading, writing, and racing, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, into the...
Skillful driving from Roberts. He pinched Rushworth down as far as he dared, but Rushworth has done a great job. He did a great job of getting out of turn 2 well, didn't he?
Yeah, he has. And, Cedric nearly trying to get by off the circuit there. He's going to try and get up the inside of Roberts into Interlagos. Let's see if it works.
Very late on the brakes. Roberts had a slipstream from Jamie Rushworth.
Oh!
He forces him out, and there's a quarter panel. Cedric slides off.
Well, they've only got 3 more races to do the quarter panel, and before it goes, well, I don't know if it'll still stick around in the...
It might not. Yeah, it might not go completely, but it's not going to be quite as easy to do, I don't think.
No, you can literally pick them up and spin them around in this.
That'll be all Alex Simpson's commentary gone. He won't be able to talk about quarter panels anymore. What will he do?
You have to find. There'll be some sort of thing that that comes along with the Audi. I wonder what
we
it'll
need
be.
to get him back in. If I end up racing the Audi, we'll have to get him back in.
Filled in briefly a couple of weeks ago when we were at Snetterson, I think, for race one.
Almost won the title, of course, in last season. Yeah. In his only season in the BSRT. Well, not his only season. He did start this one, but got quite a lot of penalties, and then I think he had work commitments, but it's a shame there. But here's the battle for the lead. It's Sakovic versus Harrod. Harrod sets the fastest lap on his way to potentially taking the lead away from Maciej Sakovic. Oh, it's a nice move, isn't it?
Very good. Oh, something's kicked off in the middle of the field.
It has, but it's kicking off. It's still kicking off for the lead. I think we need to probably stay on that just while they're still side by side, because Baker's looking for 2 places here. Oh, have they gone each other's way slightly? Sakovic is still in this fight. Now Harrod's through, so that's worked out brilliantly for CQR, hasn't it?
Orchestrated to perfection there. It was Harrod that got the lead through Curva de Sol, and then Baker slingshotting his way through into the lead into Tessida Delaga there.
Now I think we can go back and see what's involved Will Daniels and Rob Graham.
Oh, an absolute mess. Let's have a look.
It seems like it, doesn't it? Graham's sort of in the middle of the road here. Daniels goes round the outside. Oh, yeah. Ugh. It's one of those daft ones, isn't it? It's like there's not a lot either driver can do about that. That's just unfortunate.
Right, back with these guys, and it's a 4-car train going up the hill in the fight for 10th. You got Automech and ERT. This is pretty interesting.
Yeah, P10 contested by Simmons, Wright, Hadfield, and Chepelevsky. Cheppy now on the outside. Oh, very late on the brakes for... well, he twitched on the braking, didn't he? It's almost like he locked the rears there, did Max Wright, but I don't think that's really that possible in the Kia Optima.
And the fight for second is on now between Harad Sakovic and Savidovic.
Cedric got his line wrong through Curva de Sol again in the background. Oh, nudge. Maciej Sakovic is not out of this race yet. Neither is Wojciech Savidovic. But which will come out on top? Who knows?
Half a second now between Baker and Harad. That will grow even more if these guys start battling away. Savidovic is somewhere there. We just can't see him. I don't know where he is.
We can see an awful lot of Kia Optima. A lot of grill. Right in our grill is Maciej Sakovic. Former Kia Club Series champion, of course. Terrific league that. Doesn't run anymore, but it was a good league while it was on. Pete Harrod was the champion of that as well, in fact.
Yeah, 2-time champion. He won season 2 and 3. Diogo Melro won season 4 and 5. And Sakovic won the first
Melro.
one. It is Melro. Where is Melro? He's not here, is the
not
answer.
in this championship by the looks of it. Oh, hopefully we see him back for the Audi. Who knows? Hey, I reckon we could have a massive grid for the Audi. We really could.
I think that's why
we really could be looking at 60 cars for Phillip Island or next year or whatever.
I think it's getting underway in what, mid-September or?
Well, not next year. Sorry, next month. Yeah,
quicker than you think. Hopefully. I wonder if I'll laugh if it's the week after Daytona. Anyway.
Oh wow! No, it won't be that quick. Surely they're going to get sign-ups done and teams and everything. Surely.
Hedgecock and Roberts very close there, going through Curva de Sol. Sorry, Hedgecock and Wood, I should say. Wood through into 7th.
Hedgecock started on the pole, down to P8. Sakovic and Savidovic are side by side. That's the battle for the 3rd place. Final step on the podium. Sakovic isn't going to give this up easily, but Savidovic, like I say, 4 titles. Massive experience in this car. Sakovic is very experienced in the Kia now, but that's the master at work there, Wojciech Savidovic.
Yeah, forces him to yield going into the tight and twisty infield section here at Interlagos. And away he goes. He is still the top AM driver, and all things being well, you'd expect him to stay there because it is a bit of a way back to Adam Hedgecock, who is the next highest AM. He is here in 8th.
Well, Wojciech Savidovic won the first championship that we covered in this series in season 6.
Yeah, has driven for a lot of teams since then.
Yes, including New Homes Technology Digital.
Driven for
limited, Spicer Heart, God knows whatever it was called.
Didn't he drive for Carnage or whatever it was?
No, that was Cats, wasn't it? Wojciech drove for ApexRacingTV as well in season 6.
What was the purple one called?
The purple one was... Oh.
It was purple and black, wasn't it?
Limit... Volatile Element. No, that wasn't that. No, well, that was the team, but that wasn't them. What was that? It was... Oh, God. It was Carnage, wasn't there? They were in there.
I just remember Rob Fagg driving, and Savidovic was in that team.
Rob Fagg drove for them. Cats drove for... Oh, somebody in the chat, please help.
And then Savidovic went off to Sim Racer magazine. I think I was racing through my old bedroom magazine the other day, and I did find the first issue of that.
That was good to be in that. It's back when the series was on TV every week. On Motors TV and on Jinx as well. I forget what the flipping purple one was called.
I might have to go and track that down as Hadfield.
I'll do some research. You fill while I Google.
Right. 5 minutes to go then in the penultimate race meeting of the BSRTC. Maciej Sakovic is now under pressure from Jamie Rushworth, and so too Savinovic trying to get by Pete Harrod for second. So two battles going on right at the front of the field, and if Dave Baker wants to win this race, he wants Pete Harrod, his wingman at the moment, to keep Wojciech at bay, and at the moment he is. CQL is probably the one team that Wojciech Savinovic hasn't driven for over the years in the BSRTC. Drove for Engine All Direct. That was oh wow! Oh, he's hit it!
Oh no!
But
Savinovic hits Harrod and actually doesn't change the order. So that's all really.
Does close things up a bit, and it does mean that Baker's a 1.4 second advantage as Harrod drifts his way through the right-hander. And Wojciech is going to go up the inside surely here. But Harrod will have the racing line for the inside. The tyres do look absolutely scorched, and so too does Jamie Rushworth, who was also drifting his way through the left-hander there. Watch out for Jack Sedgwick. He drives for ERT. He might help Wojciech out a little bit here, but Dave Baker, who was about 3 or 4 tenths ahead of Pete Harrod at the start of the lap, is going to be coming around to take to the finish line with 2.3 seconds in hand.
Yeah, different livery, same team. Sponsorship reasons coming into play there.
Onto the front straight we go then. Over the line, and it's going to be Harrod that was just ahead there when they came over the stripe, but is he going to make that corner? He went very deep. He's not going to make the centre S. There he goes off, and he's going to go in the grass, and he might just rejoin behind Jamie Rushworth. He has. Maybe Maciej Sakovic might fancy his chances of getting by, but it is Baker. Savinovic now in second, with Sedgwick third, Rushworth fourth, Harrod fifth, and Sakovic in sixth. Wojciech has got to close down a 2.1 gap to try and get to the lead.
By the way, Katz did drive for Leo Bodner, but that wasn't that livery, so I have no idea. And that team was also known as the one that Baker and that used to drive for was STEM at one point. Remember that?
Oh God, yeah.
And it was Team O.
Team O. Chrome Restart or whatever. Yeah, we had everything.
It was all sorts. Yeah.
Team O was the first one. Stefan Hugen, all those guys.
Yeah, Ben Gregory. Winning the AM category on a controller. It's impressive. Dave Baker's been impressive in this race, though. Leads the way by 2 seconds. Wojciech Savinovic is going to struggle to catch that up. They've done well to fight through, though, haven't they, all these guys at the front? Because it looked like it's going to be a tall order after a couple of laps, but Baker's up from 13th, Savinovic up from 10th, Sedgwick up from 17th. And Rushworth up from 14th on the grid. It's only Maciej Sakovic actually out of all the top 10 that has sort of kept his. Well, Harrod did, but out of all the AM drivers who were up there, is the only one who's stayed in his position or improved it.
I have your answer for you. Eurochip Digital.
Oh, damn it! Yeah. That was the one he was driving for when he nearly won the title, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Katz.
Oh!
It was Katz that was driving for Eurochip Digital. It was him versus Joe for the title.
Yeah. Eurochip Digital.
Wojciech was driving for EOD at that point. Final lap then, I reckon. Might be anyway.
Oh!
Oh!
Yeah, forgive us, viewers, if we are reminiscing back to the old days of the Kia Optima as it's in its last couple of weeks. But this car truly has been. Oh, look at this between Wright and
Brown.
Brown, yeah, that's it. Hedgecock and Baxter. This car truly has been a revelation, though, because it didn't have high participation in the official series. Wasn't really a very much loved car, but this league has done with it miraculous things, really.
at one point it was probably the most popular league on iRacing.
And iRacing have a lot to thank the BSRTC for, really, in getting a lot of purchases of the Kia Optima and getting many years of good service out of it.
Oh yeah, we had our promo code PR-BSRTC. You can try that. I don't know if it works anymore.
It might still work. Who knows?
Get a free Kia Optima just as it expires. Over the line then. Start the final lap of the race. This is John Roberts versus Christian Rose. A lot of inside. I would be amazed if he didn't get a slowdown for that. Roberts, he was very advantageous there with the curbs.
Be interesting to see actually how the Audi compares with the Kia in terms of lap times. Probably reckon the Audi will be. I reckon it'll be quite close actually. So I think the Kia's quicker in a straight line, but I think the Audi's going to be quicker in the corners. Now, this is battle for 8th place, raging on the final lap. Oh, there's some. Oh no, it's not. I heard some sliding and a bit of crashing, but I think it was just some rubbing of panels. Savinovic has got the gap down to a second, Adam. So it's not. I mean, it's nearly a done deal, but it's not for the want of trying from Wojciech or Jack Sedgwick behind.
Yeah, maybe if he had, I'd say 2 more laps, he might have been able to have got something out of Baker. Maybe 1 more lap, but here they come out of junk out.
David Baker then. And he didn't have the finest first 2 races of the day. But starting in 13th for race 3, he probably didn't think he'd be standing on the top step of the podium. But he will be tonight. David Baker wins for CQR. And he takes race 3 here at Interlagos. Well driven by the former champ. Another former champ behind him. Current reigning champion. Wojciech Savinovic. Reigning and still defending, Adam. He's still fighting hard to the last round, isn't he?
Yeah, and he might just have that crucial advantage. It might not be Ross McFarlane anymore that's in second after his demise in race 3. And everybody's crossed the line already. That's got to be quick. Of course, we did have a few retirements, so there weren't too many cars finishing at the race's end. But I am really intrigued to see what the points are going to be looking like. Hopefully they may be updated before we go off air and we can have a look at what the situation is going to be going to Daytona in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the hard part is going to be waiting for the final round, because it's been such a good last few weeks of the season that, you know, we're wanting that last round to come. We're wanting the champions to be crowned, but we're going to have to be patient. Like I said, it's a big few weeks for sim racing. New build of iRacing, as we said. Audi coming.
Barcelona
Sim Racing
as well.
Expo coming. Barcelona as well, yeah. Circuit Catalonia. Hey, that'll be great too. I always wanted to drive that one on iRacing. That should be good.
Yeah, big Iberian presence on the iRacing service. So
yeah, and they haven't had a track, which, to be fair, it's not really been that fair. But they have one now. Maybe we can get some more in future as well. Maybe we can get Jerez or Valencia maybe on it as well.
Used to play Jarama loads on the original grid.
Valencia street circuit for me, but we know that's not going to happen. That's probably the unpopular opinion of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is that one. I love that one.
I may go as far as say it's probably better than Ricardo Tormo, the actual Valencia track.
It's better for racing, I think. But no, Valencia, that'd be a cool circuit to have as a Jerez. Oh my word! There's a guy in the pit lane.
I thought Pete Newman was trying to get air then, because as you can see there is a brow there, and he was going into the pits at unabated speed. Right, final results then for the final race of the day. Dave Baker wins as the sun sets on the race meeting here. 7/10 of a second ahead of Wojciech Savinovic in the end. His teammate Jack Sedgwick in third. Jamie Rushworth fourth, and Pete Harrod completing the top 5. 6th for Maciek Sakovic, top am. Then Chris Wood, Adam Hadfield. A great evening for him, must be said, up in 8th. 2nd in the AM category too. Then George Simmons in 9th, and 10th for Christian Rose. 11th for John Roberts, 12th for Selin Chepelevsky, Pete Newman in 13th, then Dan Brown, Max Wright, Steve Baxter, Adam Hedgecott, Michael Blake down there in 18th place, but he did get to finish this one. 19th for Kip Stevens. Sean Gardner, the pole sitter, finishes in 20th. Then Will Daniels in 21st. And then the cars that didn't finish. Rob Graham, don't know what happened to him. That might be worth investigating. There are a lot of Rob Graham has crashed on my event viewer, so I'll have a look at that.
Oh dear.
Mark Woodhouse, 7 laps down. Oh, God, don't know what happened to him. Paul Smith and Ash Sutton both out together. Sven Glatzel, we did see what happened to him. Oh, yeah, he was off at the first corner as well. Ross McFarlane, big wreck for him. And Jack McIntyre was out very early on as well. Not too sure if he took the start. Maybe he didn't actually. Well, go back and track that down, I think. In a second. In fact, we can have a look at it now.
Okay, well, here we go. Oh.
Turned around by one of the ERT. Oh, it would have been all right until then.
Oh, he got a meatball for that. Didn't really make that much heavy contact, but that's a shame. It's a shame for McIntyre.
Right, next up, Mark Woodhouse. What happened to you? Nothing big because it hasn't shown up as you having crashed. So let's just go to Rob Graham. Right,
so this was after the earlier contacts, wasn't it?
Yeah, everything fine here. No. Oh.
Well, everything was fine and then it wasn't. Yeah, well, that's frustration, isn't it? But was that kind of a race for him?
He's managed to make it round. What's going to happen
finish?
Here? No. Well, it's going to be put into retirement in 2 weeks, so it's may as well bash the living.
Is he going to find the barrier? He's going to find your barrier on the other side, is he?
Bash the living daylights out of it. I think he's trying to find it. Look, he's full lock trying to get it to turn right.
Can't steer anymore. Oh dear.
Oh.
Yep. Well, that went about as well as Brexit.
It's going.
It's going, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. It's on its side with no hope of recovery.
Right then. 2 weeks to go, or 3 weeks to go until the title decider at Daytona International Speedway, our traditional end of season showdown under the lights on the famous banking. And just having a quick look to see if the points have been updated, so we can tell you what the state of play is going into it.
Yeah, and it all comes down to this as well. After going since March or whatever it is, it all comes down to the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, Tefano is going to be the champion. It's of course a shortened season because of the arrival of the Audi. Normally we would be going on to November. Crazy, really, because if that was the case, we'd only have just got past the halfway point at this point in the season. Still in the middle of summer, but yeah, Daytona to come, and then the arrival of a new dawn in the BSRTC. Hearing mootings of a possible name change as well. Don't quote me on that. Sam Fitzpatrick was telling me something on Monday.
Oh, I see you've thrown him under the bus with that. Hey, fine, absolutely fine. Yeah, everybody. It doesn't look like we're going to get anybody coming to say hi to us, so we're going to move off for the night. But we will see you back in 3 weeks' time when the 2019 season finishes. When the Kia Optima bows out, it's going to be a good one. We'll see you at Daytona. Good night.